All right. So why does most mindfulness advice just suck and fail for men? All right. So Will and I are here. We're doing something a little bit different today. This is going to be a shorter episode, kind of one idea. We're going to keep it very focused because we are men talking mindfulness, but we're also focused now training. One idea, focused, no fluff. And the topic today is why the mindfulness advice out there just doesn't land for most guys.
Yeah, well, there's a big problem I feel within the mindfulness space, and and the advice that men typically get, like it's just like, oh, just meditate 20 a day, having like never meditated or like ever even sat and done anything focused for 20 minutes a day. Oh, just download this app. Oh, just take a couple breaths and relax. I mean, how many times you've been told that?
Yeah.
Or
Um,
be more present. Like when you don't even know. Like I remember John, like a long time ago, when I first moved to New York, I was working at this restaurant. Someone was like, "Oh, I asked this guy what presence meant,"
mhm.
and now here I am talking about it all the time and teaching, right? What it means. So
I'm curious what the answer was, if you
yeah,
remember it.
it was Gurdjieff. He was reading a book from this guy Gurdjieff, and he kind of explained that. I don't remember exactly how he explained it, but one thing he definitely said, it's like it's
Mm,
being here, being like in this moment instead of somewhere else.
right.
And like, and why these things don't work. Like another big part of this problem is there's no structure, right? It's just like, just do this thing. I mean, it's like you need structure, you need technique. There's no progression, right? I think it's like when we're building a skill, you start with the basics and set fundamentals, and then you begin to slowly grow. And also,
Yeah.
there's like a lot of shared language around this, which is very important. And sometimes a language that you hear about it, especially as men, we think it's like soft or snowflakey or kind of some way or woo woo. No, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I did.
right, exactly. And then we really don't connect to it meaningfully because it's something that we hear, but we don't know, right? But when you get to the knowing, or at least just kind of peek behind the curtain a little bit, or uh, yeah, I mean, so what else am I missing here, John?
Yeah, well, that's actually a great kind of segue to the next piece is what is missing from that, right?
Mm,
Um, but before I get into that, the high performer
mm,
that is gonna try to do mindfulness, or is somebody speaking to them about mindfulness, it doesn't connect to anything that they really care about right now,
mm,
right? So they think, okay, well, it's just gonna calm me down and it's gonna clear my mind. Well, first off, it
yeah.
doesn't always do that, and it won't clear your mind. It's gonna settle your mind, but it's not always gonna make you relax. But there's all sorts of things that are happening. But in the long run, what a lot of these guys and women care about is their performance, their progress at work, their focus, their ability to do more and do more and do more, which is great. But we also need to be able to take a break. And in doing those breaks, you're actually going to perform better. So really, these mindfulness apps, this mindfulness advice that's out there, it doesn't connect. And then for those who have tried it or have tried anything and maybe they failed, this feels like another thing to inject into their already busy day.
Yeah,
And
no
then it
kidding.
feels like something that they may fail at. And guys just they don't want to do things that they may fail at, right?
Yeah.
So, the guys that we talk to, they're not explicitly anti-mindfulness. They just haven't found this entry point that makes sense for them. So what is actually missing? You talked about that skill building versus just breathe, right?
Yeah.
And nobody teaches you how to pay attention. It's like saying, be taller, be stronger,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Without showing someone how to lift. It's not something they can just do. It's a skill that is developed, and that's what we're working to do in our upcoming awareness to action course. um, context matters. Why am I doing this? Again, coming back to the it's not connecting with some guys. What does this help me to do better?
Mm,
When do I use this, right? um, progression. Progression matters, right? You
Yeah,
start simple. You start with some simple breath work, and then you
yeah,
build to the harder stuff that is tapping into your emotions, your relationships, and you stack the stuff on top of those foundations that you build. And then this one is huge, and we've spoken about this on the show before. Community. Community matters. Guys, we're just very bad about talking. We're bad about connecting. Guys just do not talk about this stuff. And and when you're a part of a community where everybody is doing it, and our community that we're going to open up is not explicitly or exclusively for men, it is open to everyone. But having
yeah,
other people around doing the work, it really changes everything. When you have other people that are supporting you, other people that are maybe having the same challenges, maybe they're having some enlightenment during a meditation and they can share it with you. And then maybe down the road, you can get that. There's a
mhm,
lot of beauty in having that community because that is, I tell you, that's a game changer. That's why so many of the fitness plans that are out there, if they're built around a community, that's why they're successful. They hold
mhm,
one another accountable, but they also uh, share their wins and their losses. That's what we're going to build. That's what we are building within our awareness to action course that's coming up starting
yeah,
in May.
yeah.
So yeah,
Well, no,
what
I
you
mean, we
got, Will?
built this for people, like, and we've had 6 years of conversation, and during, I think we've gotten much better over the last few years to understand where men are at, right, and how to help them, but
Mhm.
also how to speak to men, right, and also what men are struggling and suffering with, but also where they are in their mindfulness journey, even if they only have one foot in the path or maybe been on this path for a couple years. So we decided to give something back to all of our listeners, and that's why we've created this course that we're really excited to launch. That is going to help wherever you are in your mindfulness journey, right? To really begin to take a solid first step and then keep stacking those steps and keep going down a path that actually you'll have tangible results with.
Yeah.
And be able to actually speak about those results. So, hey, if this is
And-
resonating with you, John, what else you got?
Yeah, well, I just want to say that, the results will be profound for you, but there's also going to be this ripple effect, right? If you are able to work to regulate your emotions, or even if you do lose control every once in a while, if you're able to come back to center that much faster, you are going to be a different person at work. You're going to be a different person
Yeah,
with your family, with your spouse, with your friends, with your colleagues. It really does, and I've said this before, change your life. And I attribute
yeah,
um, the practice of mindfulness and meditation, not always meditation, but sometimes mindfulness. And we discuss the difference between the two in this course that we're talking about, the course that we built. It changed my life, but it also saved my life. So yeah, like Will said, if this resonates with you, stay tuned.
yeah,
Not on this particular episode, but just stay tuned to the Men Talking Mindfulness podcast and everything that we have going on. We've got something big coming up in May. We've kind of already peeled back the onion and kind of shown you what's behind the curtain. We've got a course coming out. And it's going to be awesome. Awareness to
yeah,
action.
yeah, yeah.
What you got, Will?
Now, if you don't want to suck at mindfulness anymore, This this is, put your email below. There's a link in the show notes here. Add your email. I'll be sending more information very soon. We're gonna have an introductory price, so be on the lookout for that. You can be like the first 25 people to join, and you'll get a bit of a discount on the course. So,
There you
thank you
go.
guys for listening. Thanks for being part of this community. And share this with your friends, and I'm sure there's someone else in your life that could really begin to up their game with mindfulness, and we're here to help you do that. So,
There
thank
you
you.
go. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.